Melissa Gilbert ultimately discloses the truth about Melissa Sue Anderson when she is 61 years old. Melissa Ellen Gilbert was born Melissa Gilbert on May 8, 1964, in Los Angeles, California, USA. She came into the world as David Darlington and Kathy Wood's kid. Her biological parents were struggling financially when she was born and weren't sure they could provide her with the stability and opportunities she deserves. They made the difficult and selfless decision to pair Melissa with their new daughter because they were aware of their limitations and wanted the best for her. Taking in this act of love and preparation at an early age set the groundwork for a life that would be rich with show business. Just one day after she was born, Melissa was taken in by stars Paul Gilbert and his wife Barbara Crane. She was taken in almost immediately. As an actor, Paul Gilbert had been working for decades, and Barbara Crane had been an actress and a dancer before she joined the family. She was also the daughter of the famed comedic writer Harry Crane, whose work was used in a few of the most memorable TV moments ever. Because Melissa was raised in an environment that valued creativity, performance, and the demands of Hollywood life, she was exposed to the arts at a very young age. When she was 8, her adoptive parents experienced a divorce, which was a huge event in her early life that affected how she grew up. Barbara would eventually get married to Harold Abeles, but they also parted up. This second marriage produced Melissa a half-sister called Sarah Rebecca Abeles, who was born on January 29, 1975. Sarah would go on to become known as Sarah Gilbert on stage. Build out a great career for herself in TV, most famously on Roseanne. Melissa's adoptive father, Paul Gilbert, passed away on February 13, 1976, following a stroke. Melissa, who was young at the time, had to deal with the challenges of life without him. She was brought up in a Jewish home and adhered to its customs and laws despite these experiences, but she was never formally converted. Because of this spiritual grounding, she enjoyed a very complete and varied childhood. Melissa demonstrated at a very young age that she was an excellent performer. She was exposed to acting and theater at an early age due to her innate skill and the fact that her adoptive parents were Hollywood professionals. She began her career with advertisements. She collaborated with well-known actor Lorne Greene on one of her first assignments at Alpo Dog Food. In addition to helping her develop her abilities, these opportunities increased her awareness of how difficult and cutthroat the industry is. Melissa's major break in her career came when she was cast as Laura Ingalls, Charles Ingalls' second eldest daughter. On the NBC series Little House on the Prairie, Michael Landon portrayed him. The casting process was extremely difficult because more than 500 children applied for the role. Melissa's innate charisma, commitment, and on-screen attitude ultimately led to her landing the role. It's interesting that Leslie Landon, the daughter of Michael Landon, who attended the same school as Melissa, told her about her choice. Her brother Jonathan Gilbert appeared on the show as Willie Olson. The program ran between 1974 to 1983. In 1973, production got underway. People of all ages enjoyed the period drama as it developed over time, and Melissa's portrayal of Laura made her a household name. Melissa's career began with Little House on the Prairie, but she continued to expand her TV company and did well in feature films. In critically acclaimed films such as The Miracle Worker, 1979, The Diary of Anne Frank, 1980, Splendor in the Grass, 1981, and Choices of the Heart, 1983, she portrayed the compassionate Jean Donovan. She progressed to more mature roles as she grew older, such as in A Family of Strangers, 1993, and Choices, 1986. Melissa provided voices for both animated and live-action television programs. Her most well-known role during the 1990s was that of Batgirl in the animated series Batman, the movie. She portrayed Anna Sheridan in 3 Babylon 5 episodes in 1996. She accomplished this with Bruce Boxleitner, her then-husband. There were also difficult periods and unplanned initiatives at Melissa's job. The films Sweet Justice, 1994, Stand By Your Man, 1992, and Little House, A New Beginning, 1982, didn't proceed as expected. Nevertheless, she persisted in pursuing a number of occupations. She portrayed Sherry Noble, a patient undergoing a delicate cosmetic operation, on the television program Nip/Tuck in 2006. This demonstrated her readiness to engage with mature and uncommon content. In addition to her work on the big screen, Melissa returned to her origins in a theater environment with Little House on the Prairie. Under Francesca Zambello's direction, she portrayed Caroline Ingalls in the 2008-2009 musical adaptation of the show. The production began its national tour at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis and concluded in June 2010 at the Starlight Theater in Kansas City, Missouri. She was able to re-establish connections with people in a live performance environment through this initiative, demonstrating her commitment to the narrative that had long been a major part of her life. In 2009, Melissa also penned a book on her personal and professional life, titled A Prairie Tale, a memoir. Fans got a behind-the-scenes glimpse at her Hollywood career, family life, and personal and professional growth. She continued to act in various productions, such as 2011's The Christmas Pageant. Additionally, she acquired dancing skills and participated in the 14th season of Dancing with the Stars in 2012, competing against seasoned dancer Maxim Chmerkovskiy. Despite her memorable performances, she was ultimately dismissed on her birthday in the 7th episode. After Melissa shone her strength, grace, and competitiveness, her aspirations extended beyond enjoyment. On August 10, 2015, she announced her intention to run for Michigan's 8th congressional district for the U.S. House of Representatives in 2016. However, she later withdrew from the race due to health issues brought on by a spine injury. She did more than volunteer and perform. Along with being a director and producer, she founded Half Pint Productions, which allowed her to have creative control over projects and support other artists. Melissa Gilbert's personal life has been heavily influenced by her relationships, particularly her marriages. They depict many phases of her life and development on both a personal and professional level. Her first marriage to actor Bo Brinkman took place in 1988. Known for his work in theater and television, Brinkman had a significant role in Melissa's life as she transitioned from child star to adult actor, navigating Hollywood and her own identity. However, their marriage did have issues, as many do when both partners have demanding occupations that call for long hours and a lot of public attention. After 6 years of marriage, the couple decided to separate and filed for divorce in 1994. Even though the relationship didn't work out, Melissa gained a lot of insight into her life and what she desired in a mate during that time. Shortly after her first marriage, in 1995, Melissa wed Bruce Boxleitner. Actor Boxleitner is well known for his roles in science fiction television series such as Scarecrow and Mrs. Both personally and professionally, King and Melissa got along well. After 16 years of marriage, they faced the challenges of juggling two families, careers, and the spotlight. They were well known in Hollywood as a couple and supported one another in their personal and professional endeavors. The marriage dissolved in 2011, despite their mutual regard and similar circumstances. Their breakup demonstrated how difficult it is to maintain a committed relationship in the spotlight. Even the closest relationships can be strained by work, family, and personal development. When Melissa married Timothy Busfield in 2013, she fell in love once more. After getting married, Busfield's life became more stable and mature. She is a talented actor and director who has worked on TV series including The West Wing and 30-something. By this time, Melissa had gained a great deal of life experience and was more aware of her desires and self than she had been in her prior marriages. Melissa's enthusiasm and artistic taste complemented Timothy's serene demeanor and creative background, making them a perfect marriage. Their bond grew stronger as a result of their friendship and shared ideals. Similar to what Melissa learned from her past relationships, their marriage has been characterized by strong emotional support, teamwork, and a sense of cooperation. Finally, at age 61, Melissa Gilbert wrote a candid and intensely personal article about her relationship with her longtime Little House on the Prairie co-star Melissa Sue Anderson. The essay provided fans with insights on the relationship they had long contemplated but never really grasped. Gilbert was forthright in their chats, describing her relationship with Anderson as complex, profound, and occasionally challenging. "We were linked from the beginning," Gilbert stated. Her words give you an idea of how difficult it is to grow up in front of the camera and the stresses that frequently accompany being a kid star. "Being on Little House on the Prairie when we were so young put us in a world of fame and attention. That makes for a special kind of friendship, but things weren't always easy." More specifically, Gilbert stated that although their characters had ideal relationships with their friends and family on television, real-life relationships were far more challenging. "Everyone thought we were cute little girls. Have wonderful lives. But the truth is that we were just kids figuring out how to live in a very strange place," she continued. Melissa Gilbert has discussed how relationships evolve over time in her writing. She discussed how their friendship had evolved over time, noting that as they grew older, she and Anderson experienced their own personal issues, professional setbacks, and moments of self-discovery. According to Gilbert, "We all had our own paths. Even if you love someone deeply, you must learn to live without them. It's normal for those paths to go in different directions sometimes." Gilbert's candor demonstrates that he has matured enough to understand that relationships, particularly those that were created under peculiar circumstances, evolve over time. She was aware that they had never been hostile or harsh to one another. Rather, she added, they realized that growing up together in the spotlight creates a unique bond that deviates from typical friendship patterns. Gilbert expressed a great deal of admiration and respect for Anderson's abilities and character throughout her reflection. "She is one of the nicest and smartest people I've ever met," she said to Melissa Sue. "I learned a lot about professionalism, patience, and the power of quiet strength from working with her." Gilbert described instances on set where Anderson's diligence and commitment inspired her to improve as an actor and a person. She described how the performers, crew, and producers became like a family, as well as the bonds they formed with other members of the group. However, she acknowledged that the hectic schedule, long hours, and public attention could exacerbate minor issues. "As a child, being constantly watched alters you," Gilbert reflected. "There were times when I felt jealous, confused, and unsafe, but that's what it's like to grow up in a world that doesn't let you be a kid." Gilbert then discussed why she ultimately decided to be so open at age 61. "I can now look back and see the big picture." She added, "I think getting older gives you perspective. When you're young, your thoughts and feelings can cloud your view of the world. I don't have to defend or justify myself to others, I can appreciate our common history, both the good and the unpleasant memories." Many people who have followed her career can identify with what she stated since it demonstrates a really human level of sensitivity and introspection. Gilbert's decision to discuss Anderson at this time is obviously not an attempt to make amends or reopen past arguments. Rather, it is an effort to acknowledge the intricacy of a lifelong connection that has influenced the lives of both women. Finally, Gilbert's remarks inform fans that relationships that begin in childhood are sometimes difficult for people to comprehend, particularly when the individual is well known. According to her, people assume that if two people collaborate on a show, they will be best friends forever. But friendship isn't just about money, she continued. It all comes down to timing, getting along, and sharing circumstances. I spent some of the most significant years of my life with Melissa Sue. The link will always be there, regardless of how it seems right now. Gilbert's remarks serve as a poignant reminder of the long-lasting impact of early events, the strength required to handle public life, and the complex realities that lie beneath the seemingly idealized facade of child stardom. Her candor is an homage to Anderson as well as to all the relationships that develop, mature, and endure in ways that may not always be apparent to the outside world.